So today's lecture we start a new topic by the name called thermodynamics. Okay, so this thermodynamics, it is a branch of physics. So in higher studies, if you go to the BSc or you enter into the B, now this must be an very important topic there. Okay, so in the PU we are discussing about some basic concepts, the basic relations in thermodynamics. Okay, so first we study what is meant by thermodynamics. See, word itself says that this thermodynamics, it is made up of two words here. You can see here. One is thermal, second is the dynamics. Okay, so it is made up of two words here, thermal and dynamics. Thermal means what? It is somewhat related to heat. Thermal is related to heat, and dynamics it is related to motion. As you study in the classical physics, this dynamics is related to motion, it is related to work. Okay, so what does thermodynamics it says that? So thermodynamics says it is thermal, the heat, and dynamics means work. That means what? So here we are going to study the interrelationship between heat and work. So thermal means heat, dynamics means work. Okay, you are studying the interrelationship between heat and work. As you can see that when I rub my hands, see what I'm doing? I'm doing certain work. Okay, I'm doing certain work here, and the end product is, okay, you can feel the heat between your two hands. So you are getting a heat energy, but you are doing a work. That means what? Here the work is get converted to heat energy. Some other case, okay, if you boil the water, if the lid is kept on the, okay, the container of an water, then after some time you can see that it is pushing upwards. The steam engines, the earlier steam engines, where this boiling water makes the movement of a piston. So here the heat energies get converted to work. So is work get converted to heat energy, and heat energy get converted to work. Now that study, that main part of our study, that is called thermodynamics, because in the earlier days, okay, so this thermodynamics is actually started to study about the steam engines only. Our main interest is of steam engines. Okay, as this science advances, as the thermodynamics grow, so we are using again other facts also, that is the conversion of one energy to other energy. Again it is studied in a single topic by the name called thermodynamics, but the thermodynamics mainly deals with the interconversion, the study of interconversion of heat and a work. Okay, so are you getting me? So before going to the main concept here, that is our first law of thermodynamics. Okay, and the main concept of thermodynamics itself is a study of engines, heat engines. That is how we can convert heat into an work. Before that, we have to study certain terms in the thermodynamics. Okay, so to know that principle, to know that laws, okay, to study that phenomena, we should know about certain terms here. Okay, the terms are, so let me take a first term, system. Okay, so we always says that a system. Okay, so in thermodynamics we say that, but consider a particular system. Okay, a system in a container. So what is meant by an system? System means what? So system means, so it is a quantity, or it may be something which is under study. Okay, under investigation. What we are studying, that is called system. Are you getting me? System means what? If you have some, see, I am studying about some gas in a container. Okay, some gas is there in a container. My interest is the study of this gas, its thermodynamic variables, its state, whatever may be. So my interest is about gas. My investigation is about gas. Okay, my study is about gas. Now that is called system. System means the matter under study. The matter under investigation, we call it as the system. Matter under study. And the matter which is under study, the matter under study, we call it as system. Second word is the surrounding. Okay, you can see that there is always interaction of system and a surrounding. So what is surrounding? Surrounding means what? Very simple. Surrounding means the other than the system. Surrounding means other than the system. Okay, so your studies about gases. Okay, so you're studying about the gases in a container. Your investigation is on their properties like this. So your entire focus is on gases. Therefore, your gas is a system. And what is surrounding? Surrounding means other than the gas. Other than the gas, whatever may be. Okay, it may be the surrounding atmosphere, surrounding tree, whatever may be. Now that is called surrounding. That is called surrounding. Are you getting me? So system plus surrounding is nothing but our universe. Okay, if I take this particular topic, what is universe? Universe is nothing but system and surrounding. This is a system. Okay, other than the system, whatever may be the object present in the universe, they are called surrounding. Okay, so therefore, what is surrounding? The other than the system, it is called surrounding. Okay, then you have certain. Okay, so let me take certain important terms only. So next we have some thermodynamic variables. Thermodynamic variables. Okay, in each topic we have certain variables. Okay, and that variables decide that property of the material, that the state of the material. Okay, these are called variables. If you go for a mechanics, okay, if you want to study about the motion of an object, that means you should know about their velocity, their initial velocity, their acceleration, the distance traveled, something like this. So this velocity, this acceleration, okay, so this distance, they are all called variables. Okay, now that decides the processing of the body, motion of the body. Okay, are you getting me? Some topics in the, if I want to study the thermal properties of fluids, then the pressure. Okay, so this volumes. So if I want to study the Bernoulli's principle, then the pressure, the kinetic energy, the potential energy. So these terms decide that particular principle. Okay, and that term changes also. Okay, that particular topic, that phenomena depend on that physical quantities, and that physical quantity, if that physical quantity changes, then the law also changes, the phenomena also changes like this. So they are called variables here. So here in thermodynamics, who are the variables? Okay, so here in thermodynamics, the state of the material, 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 it's decided by, okay, the state of the material is decided by, okay, the state of the materials are decided by, this time it is decided by mainly three physical quantities. They are pressure, volume and temperature. Okay, so as we go into the, okay, so in depth of thermodynamics, then we have a large number of variables like entropy, enthalpy. Okay, you have the Gibbs free energy or the Helmholtz free energy, whatever may be. But basically, the state of the thermodynamic, okay, the state of the system, thermodynamic system, it is decided by pressure, volume and temperature. Okay, if I give an example like that, if you take in water, if I neglect the, okay, so this about pressure and volume, if I consider only the temperature, okay, if I ask, okay, okay, so if I take the example of an water, so 0 to 100 degrees centigrade, if you take this particular region from 0 to 100 degree centigrade, I can easily say that the state of that water H2O molecule is liquid state. They are in a liquid state, 0 to 100 degrees. If I say that the temperature of the H2O molecules is something around minus 20 degrees centigrade, then you can easily say that it is in solid state, it is in ice state. Okay, if the temperature is about some 2000 degrees centigrade, then you can say that it is in gaseous state. So based on the temperature, the state decides. 0 to 100 degrees centigrade, it is in liquid state. Below 0 degrees centigrade, it is in a solid state. Above 100 degrees centigrade, it is in gaseous state. So the temperature, this temperature decides the state of an material. Are you getting me? So as I told in case of the phase diagram, that triple point and all like that. Okay, so where we have studied in some detailed manner, this state of a material depends on both pressure as well as the temperature. Melting point is not 0 degrees centigrade, it is 0 degrees centigrade at standard atmospheric pressure. So the temperature depends on the pressure. Therefore, the state depends on the pressure, volume and temperature. If the temperature changes, you can see that if the temperature becomes greater than 100 degrees centigrade, the liquid state becomes an gaseous state. Not only temperature, the pressure, volume and temperature decides the state of an material. Are you getting me? So the thermodynamic state depends on these three physical quantities. If this quantities changes, then the state also changes. Therefore, now these quantities are called thermodynamic variables. Are you getting me? So these are called thermodynamic variables. Okay. Then we have some equation of state. Every time we say that the equation of state of an isothermal process, adiabatic process. Okay, equation of state. Okay, so in classical physics we have the equation of state. Okay, so the relation between the variables, we call it as equation. What is the equation between initial velocity and final velocity and acceleration and time? We can say that v is equal to v naught plus at. So now that particular equation gives the relation between the variables. Okay, now see, similarly, the equation which gives the relation between variables for an state. Now that equation is called equation of an state. For an example, if I take an example, okay, so if I write the equation of an state for a perfect gas, okay, if I take an equation of state for a perfect gas, then I can say that for 1 mole, I can write PV is equal to RT. So this is an equation which gives the relation between pressure, volume and temperature. Therefore, it is called equation of state. Are you getting me? Okay, if I take the Boyle's law, so it says that pressure is inversely proportional to volume. Therefore, PV is equal to constant. So now this is the equation of state. It gives the relation between pressure and volume provided the temperature is kept constant. So this particular equation gives the relation between pressure, volume and temperature. Therefore, it is called equation of state. Okay. So these are some of the basic terms here. Okay. So the system, every time we say that there is an interaction between system and the surrounding. Okay. So there is heat exchange take place between system and the surrounding. So that means what? There is an interaction between that particular matter and other than that matter like this. Okay. Next we have some very important term by the name called thermodynamic equilibrium. Thermodynamic. Okay, you have the word by the name called thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, equilibrium means somewhat you know some basic idea about equilibrium. Okay, two matters, there should be two matters. Okay, so they exert some equal force, whatever may be, we call it as an equilibrium. Okay, so now this time we have to study about thermodynamic equilibrium. Thermodynamic equilibrium means this thermodynamic equilibrium is not a single state of interaction between system and the surrounding. It is the process it is. Okay, large number of interaction take place, and after that interaction, the system and the surrounding is going to attain thermodynamic equilibrium. If the material, if the system and surrounding, now see who are involved here in our particular topic, there are two materials. One is system and second is the surrounding. It is an interaction between system and surrounding, the exchange of energy between system and surrounding, the work between system and surrounding like this. So this is our main focus. Okay, so every time some process takes place, that means what? It is between, the interaction is between the system and the surrounding. Okay, so thermodynamic equilibrium. So thermodynamic equilibrium is if the system and surrounding has an thermodynamic equilibrium. If the system and surrounding is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium, is said to be in okay, said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium. Thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, so if it is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium, then it should have to satisfy three types of equilibrium. Okay, if the system and surrounding are said to be in, if your system and your surrounding are said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium, then it should satisfy three types of equilibrium. They are: number one, mechanical equilibrium. The system and surrounding should have mechanical equilibrium. First one. Second is okay, chemical equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium. And third, the most important one is thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium. Okay, so what is meant by thermodynamic equilibrium? If the system and surrounding, if they are in thermodynamic equilibrium, that means system and surrounding should have mechanical equilibrium. They should have chemical equilibrium. They should have thermal equilibrium. If all these conditions are satisfied, then I can say that they are in a thermodynamic equilibrium. What is meant by mechanical equilibrium? Okay, what is meant by mechanical equilibrium? Okay, for the sake of discussion, let me take system as a gas. Okay, so gas is made up of gas molecules. For the sake of discussion, let me take my system is a gas which is contained in a container. Okay, so you are putting the gas in a container having a movable piston. Okay, now this piston is a movable. So this is a container. Now these three walls are fixed, but the fourth one, this one piston, it is connected to the piston. It can move in upward or downward direction, and it contains gas. So gas is a system, and other than the gas, it is called surrounding. Okay, these are nothing but surrounding. So first let me go. What is meant by mechanical equilibrium? Mechanics. Okay, so in the classical physics, we know about the mechanical equilibrium. What is meant by mechanical equilibrium? Now see here, if some object is there, if I am applying 10 Newton of force in this particular direction, then displacement takes place in that particular direction. That is Newton's law. A body at rest remains at rest unless an external force acts on it. If the external force acts on it, then definitely body moves in which direction? The direction in which the force acts. Are you getting me? If applying the direction of the force is this particular direction, okay, if this is the direction of force, the displacement takes place in that particular direction. It is moving in that direction. Okay, so therefore, we can say that. So now this is a force, that is a mechanical force here. So what is meant by mechanical equilibrium? Mechanical equilibrium means, see here, now this time you have the two forces here. You have two forces. So one force is acting on this object in this particular direction. Let me assume that 10 Newton. Other force of 8 Newton is acting in the opposite direction. So here it is 10 Newton, here it is 8 Newton. Now this time what happens? So as you know about the vector topic, so 10 Newton of force is acting along this direction, 8 Newton of force is acting along this direction. So what is the resultant force? The resultant force is 2 Newton. Okay, so 10 Newton on the one direction, 8 Newton on the other direction. So what is the net force acting on here? As the vectors are acting in the opposite direction, they get subtracted. Are you getting me? Therefore, the 2 Newton of force act and the direction of the displacement is along the larger force. Okay, so when the unbalanced force act on the body, still body moves. This is unbalanced force. One side you have the 10 Newton, on the other side you have the 8 Newton. So when unbalanced force act on the object, then also body moves. Are you getting me? When force act on the body moves. If the unbalanced force act on the body, then also body moves in the larger magnitude of force, in the direction of larger magnitude of force. If you assume that, okay, let me take this time, if the both forces are 10 Newton and they are acting in the opposite direction. Okay, if the both forces are 10 Newton, okay, someone is applying 10 Newton of force on this particular, okay, duster on this direction, and there is 10 Newton of force in the other direction. Now what happens? What happens? This time object doesn't move. Object doesn't move, even though you are exerting certain force on the object. Reason is this time the balance force are acting on the object. This is the balance force is there. There are equal forces are there, and these equal forces they get cancelled. They get cancelled out. Therefore, body is said to be in. Now, this position is called equilibrium. Are you getting me? There is a fine difference between rest and equilibrium. Rest means what? If no force acts on the body, if the body is in fixed position, then it is called rest. If no force acts on the body, if the position of the body is fixed, then it is called rest. What is equilibrium? Equilibrium means number of forces are acting on the body. Okay, whenever the force acts on the body, body should displace. But number of forces are acting on the body. If still the position of the body is fixed, then such kind of such kind of position we call it as equilibrium. Now that position, now this time we don't call it as rest, but we call it as equilibrium. So this is said to be, the object is said to be in equilibrium. Okay, if the mechanical forces act on the body, if the position of the body is fixed, then such kind of equilibrium is called mechanical equilibrium. Are you getting me? Okay, so what is here? So what is meant by mechanical equilibrium in case of our thermodynamics? Now see here, so this gas means what? Gas is made up of gas molecules, and you know that in a kinetic theory of gases, these gas molecules, they are in a movement. They have certain kinetic energy. If they are at rest, then we don't call it as gases. They become solids. Gases means what? These gas molecules, they are in a movement. They are in a random movement. Okay. So when they are in a random movement, sometimes they collide on the walls of the container. Okay. Due to their movement, they may collide on the walls of the container. So when they collide on the walls of the container, now see here, what they do? They exert pressure. They exert force. So that is nothing but we call it as the pressure of the gas, the force of the gas. And you can see that the force of the gas is acting in an upward direction. So gas is a system. Gas is a system. It exerts force on the what? Force on the surrounding. Are you getting me? If there is no movement of piston, your piston is fixed. Your piston is fixed. The gas exerts some force on the piston, but your piston is not in a movement. That means what? There may be some surrounding force, equal magnitude of surrounding force acting on the piston. So now there are two forces here. And one, the force exerted by gas on the surrounding, and second is the force exerted by surrounding on the gas. If the piston is not moving, neither moving upward nor moving downward, that means what? The force exerted by system on the surrounding is same as that of the force exerted by surrounding on the system. Are you getting me? The force exerted by surrounding on the system. If the force exerted by surrounding on the system, if it is greater, then what happens? Piston moves in the downward direction. If the force exerted by system on the surrounding is greater, that means piston moves in the upward direction. But this time the piston is neither moving in the upward direction nor moving in the downward direction. That means what? The force exerted by system on the surrounding is same as that of the force exerted by surrounding on the system. Therefore, we can say that system and surrounding are said to be in mechanical equilibrium. Are you getting me? This is called mechanical equilibrium. State is fixed. This volume is fixed. There is no change in volume of the container. or if the container is fixed, either it is moving upward or moving it is downward, then I can say that the system and surrounding are in mechanical equilibrium. Okay, so come to the next one, chemical equilibrium. What is meant by chemical equilibrium? Chemical equilibrium is what? Now, if I consider it is a gas, okay, this gas. So this gas has, okay, so let me assume that it has, now this gas is made up of, it contains two types of gas here. One is oxygen, second is the carbon dioxide. Let me assume that now percentage of this one is 70 here, and the percentage of carbon dioxide is some 30%. Take some example. Okay, so that means what? Through this gas contains, again it has two gases. This container has two gases here. One is oxygen, second is carbon dioxide. Oxygen, the percentage of oxygen in that container is 70%, and the carbon dioxide is 30%. Okay, so what is meant by chemical equilibrium? Chemical equilibrium means if I take throughout system, if I take this part of the system, then this part of the system should have both oxygen as well as the carbon dioxide, and if I take their proportional, the ratio should be 70:30. 70 should be oxygen and carbon dioxide should be 30. If I take any part of the system, then percentage should be same, 70 and 30. Are you getting me? The chemical composition should be same throughout the system. Now that is called chemical equilibrium. Are you getting me? Okay. If your mother prepares sharbat for your relatives, okay, you know that in the sharbat, first you have to put sugar. Okay, when you put the sugar in the water, then what happens? Sugar start dissolving. The sugar start dissolving. The reason is very simple. Always the particles move from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, initially if you taste that particular sharbat, you realize that at the bottom it has more sweetness compared to top, because the concentration of sugar is more at the bottom of the glass. Okay, if you stir it, okay, if you start stirring, after some times, if that sugar is completely dissolved in the water, if you check the sweetness of that sharbat, okay, at the top and or the bottom also, you will get the same sweetness. That means what? The percentage of water and the sugar is the same at each point in the system. Now that is called chemical equilibrium. Are you getting me? What is meant by chemical equilibrium? If the chemical composition is same, if your chemical composition is same throughout the system, then it is said to be in chemical equilibrium. Okay. Next, let me go for. Sometimes this chemical equilibrium, this is also with respect to the surrounding. Okay, if you have some system, okay, this is your system. Okay, so this is the surrounding. If I take the best example of the sharbat only, the sharbat contains water and the sugar. Okay, if I take the sugar as a system and this water as a surrounding, okay, initially what happens? They are not in a equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium. Why? Because the chemical composition is not same. Here you have the H2 molecules and you have the sugar molecules. Okay, so the interaction take place. So it moves from system to surrounding. Okay, so there is a concentration. Here more, here it is less, so it moves from system to surrounding unless this sugar completely dissolve in the all directions. Okay, so finally the system and the surrounding, it attains an thermodynamic equilibrium. Now that thermodynamic equilibrium is called chemical equilibrium. Are you getting me? Okay. Third is the most important one, is thermal equilibrium. Okay, thermal equilibrium. What is meant by thermal? Thermal means heat. Thermal means heat, and heat is measured by using temperature. Temperature is the measurement of heat. Okay, the degree of hotness or the degree of coldness, it is measured by temperature. Okay, so thermal equilibrium means, that means what? The temperature should be same here. So that means if you measure the temperature throughout the system, okay, if you take a thermometer, if you measure the temperature throughout the system, let me assume that you are getting something around 70 degrees centigrade. Throughout this system, your temperature is 70 degree centigrade. Okay, if you measure the temperature of a surrounding, now the temperature of the surrounding is also 70 degrees centigrade. Throughout your system, your temperature is 70 and is same as that of temperature of surrounding. Then I can say that system and surrounding are said to be in thermal equilibrium. Are you getting me? What is meant by thermal equilibrium? If the temperature of the system, if the temperature of the system is the same throughout the system, if the temperature is same, if the temperature is same throughout the system and is same as that of temperature of surrounding, if the temperature of the system is same, if the temperature is same throughout the system and is same as that of temperature of surrounding, then I can say that system and surrounding are said to be in are said to be in thermal equilibrium. Okay, if all these three equilibriums are attained, okay, if the system and surrounding have all these three types of equilibrium, okay, so there is no force of interaction between system and surrounding, they are in a mechanical equilibrium, their chemical composition is same, that means they are in a chemical equilibrium, the temperature of the system and surrounding are same, that means they are in a thermal equilibrium. If all these three equilibriums are satisfied, then I can say that the system and surrounding are said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, so this is about thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, now these are the basic terms here. Okay, so system, surrounding, the state, the variables, and the thermodynamic equilibrium. Okay, so but in our topic, your mainly discussion is about thermal equilibrium. Okay, so if this thermal equilibrium is attained, automatically we say that okay, the system and surrounding they are in thermodynamic equilibrium. Obviously, okay, so we are neglecting the other terms here, that is mechanical equilibrium and chemical equilibrium, somewhat in the PU. Our main focus is on thermal equilibrium. Okay, so okay, so the thermodynamics. Okay, so this is the relation between heat and the work. Okay, to find the relation between heat and the work, so we have the various laws here. Okay, and based on this laws we have certain phenomena applications also. So let me start with the first law in the thermodynamics. So this is called zeroth law. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, so it is given by R.H. Fowler. Okay, scientist by the name called R.H. Fowler in 1931, around 1931. Okay, so we have the first law of thermodynamics. Now that law is called, okay, zeroth law, because already we have given the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, then we realize that, so first we have to define the temperature before the heat and work. So therefore, so after first law, so the previous one we have taken it as zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, so zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, it says that two systems, okay, two systems, okay, if two systems, okay, are in a, if the two systems are in thermal equilibrium, are in thermal equilibrium, are in thermal equilibrium with the third system, with the third system separately. Okay, if the two systems are in thermal equilibrium with the third system separately, then they are in the thermal equilibrium. Okay, then they are in the thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay, then they are in the thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay, the statement is quite complicated, but the explanation is very simple. If you know this explanation, then this law is very simple. Okay, so law says that two systems are in thermal equilibrium with the third system separately, then they are in thermal equilibrium with each other. Okay, so in this law, how many systems are there? There are three systems. Okay, there are three systems. Okay, so let me explain what is meant by what. Okay, so how this how we'll understand the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, let me take three systems. Let me call this first system as A. Some material, sir, whatever may be. Okay, so the system is A, then second system is B. Okay, they are not in a contact here. Okay, the system A and system B, they are not in a contact. Therefore, let me take some adiabatic wall. Okay, now this is called adiabatic wall. So what is meant by adiabatic wall? So in the next classes we study about this all type of process, isothermal, adiabatic, like this. Okay, so where I am going to okay, so detailed discussion of this adiabatic process. Okay, now I can say that adiabatic means there is no exchange of heat between A and B. They are completely isolated. Okay, A is completely isolated from B. There is no interaction between anything. There is no mass interaction, neither heat interaction. The best example is you have taken some wood piece like this. So this is system A, this is system B. In between A and B, you have some wood material, and you know that wood is a bad conductor of heat. Wood doesn't allow the heat to flow through it. Okay, so let me take an adiabatic wall. Okay, so then there is a third system. This is the third system. This third system is C. Okay, so there is no contact between A and B. I can see that there is an adiabatic wall between A and B. Okay, but the system C is there, which is simultaneously in contact with A as well as B. Simultaneously. Okay, it is in contact with A as well as B. Okay, so again let me go for the statement of thermodynamics. Two systems are in thermal equilibrium with the third system separately. That means what? A is in thermal equilibrium. A is in thermal equilibrium. A is in thermal equilibrium with the B. Sorry, not B, with the C. Okay, reverse is also true. That means C is in thermal equilibrium with A. Are you getting me? What is meant by thermal equilibrium? The temperature of A is same as that of temperature of C. That means what? Temperature of C is also same as that of temperature of A. Okay. And now see that two systems are in thermal equilibrium with third system. Who is third system here? C is the third system. A is the first system, B is the second system, and C is the third system. So two systems are in thermal equilibrium with third system. That means A is in thermal equilibrium with C. Simultaneously, B is in thermal equilibrium with C. That means B is in thermal equilibrium with C. That means C is in thermal equilibrium with B. Okay, A is thermal equilibrium with C, B is thermal equilibrium with C. That means what? You see, there is no interaction between A and B, but separately. Therefore, he's saying that separately. Okay, there is no interaction between A and B, but A is in thermal equilibrium with C, B is in thermal equilibrium with C. That means what? See, A thermal equilibrium with C, B thermal equilibrium with C. That means what? A is thermal equilibrium with B. A simple statement, simple logic it is. I don't need any mathematical proof of it. It is a simple transient relation. As you say in the set theory, you say that if x equal to y, okay, so as you say in the mathematics, if z equal to y, that means what? X should be equal to z. A transient relation. If x equal to y, z equal to y, that means what? X should be equal to, that means x and z are same only. Therefore, I can say that means A is in thermal equilibrium A is in thermal equilibrium with B. That means A is in thermal equilibrium with B. Now that is a proof here. Two systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third system separately. If A is in thermal equilibrium with C, B is in thermal equilibrium with C separately, then they are in, that they are means A and B. The first two systems are said to be in thermal equilibrium with each other. Now this is called zeroth law. Are you getting me? What is the physical significance of zeroth law? See, the physical significance of zeroth law is it defines the physical quantity by the name called temperature. Okay, so this is mainly used, this zeroth law. We have taken the zeroth law, mainly used to define the quantity, the physical quantity by the name called temperature. What is temperature? So far we have said that temperature it measures the degree of hotness or coldness. Temperature means it is a measurement of hotness or coldness. Okay, so now I have a new definition here. Temperature is a physical quantity which determines whether the given system are in thermal equilibrium or not. Okay, so now I based on this one. So now here you can see that. That means what? If they are in thermal equilibrium with each other, that means what? The temperature of A is same as that of temperature of C. That means what? Temperature of B is same as that of temperature of C. If the temperature of A is same as that of C, temperature of B is same as that of C. That means what? Temperature of A should be equal to temperature of B. So zeroth law of thermodynamics defines what? It defines, okay, so it is about, it is talking about temperature. So temperature is a physical quantity. Temperature is a physical quantity. That means it is a measurable. It has certain finite value. Okay, are you getting me? So temperature is a physical quantity which determines what? Okay, which determines whether the given systems are in thermal equilibrium or not. It decides if they are in thermal equilibrium. Okay, if they are in thermal equilibrium, that means what? The temperatures are same. If they are not in a thermal equilibrium, that means their temperatures are not same. Therefore, temperature is a physical quantity which determines whether the given system are in thermal equilibrium or not. So this is about the zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, so zeroth law of thermodynamics. The statement is like this. And what is the physical significance of zeroth law of thermodynamics? It defines the word by the name called temperature. Okay, so this zeroth law of thermodynamics, it is entirely on temperature. Okay, so let me go to the next law now. That is nothing but first law of thermodynamics. So this is a somewhat very important one. Okay, so this heat engines and everything. Okay, so they work on the principle of first law of thermodynamics. Again, if I want to know about the first law of thermodynamics, so this law is very simple. Okay, again in a PU, we don't go for any derivations like that. So directly we have taking the statement of the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, so but I must know about. See what does the thermodynamics says? What does the law of thermodynamics gives? It gives the relation between heat and work. Okay, so but heat doesn't directly get converted to work. This intermediate state is there. Okay, directly heat doesn't get converted to work. Work not doesn't directly get converted to heat like that. In some cases, in the 90% of the cases, some process is involved. Okay, directly you can't give the relation between heat and work. There is three quantity. There is one more quantity is there. Okay, so this gives Rudloff. Okay, they introduced this third quantity, that is internal energy. Okay, the first law of thermodynamics, it gives the relation between heat, work, and internal energy. The first law of thermodynamics, it talks about heat, okay, then work, then internal energy. This is very important. Internal energy. Directly heat doesn't get converted to work. Okay. So there are a number of cases are there. Okay. So now that gives the relation between, okay. So the first law of thermodynamics, it gives the relation between heat, work, and internal energy. So what is meant by heat? So okay, thermal properties of matter only we had defined heat. Heat means it is a flow of energy. It is the flow of energy. Okay, whenever the energy flows, we call it as heat. But the flow of energy, who decides here? Temperature decides due to the temperature difference. Okay, if some body is there A, some body is there B. If the temperature of the body A is greater than temperature of body B, then automatically some energy flows from A to B. Now that energy we call it as heat energy. What is heat energy? The flow of energy from one point to other point. The flow of energy from one body to other body due to the temperature difference. If there is a temperature difference, due to that temperature difference, if the energy flows, that energy is called heat. Are you getting me? It is the flow of energy flow of energy due to temperature difference, temperature gradient, temperature difference, fall of temperature, whatever may be. Now that is called what? It is called heat. Okay, so next is work. Work means work. See, work means what? See, so far we defined in classical physics, work is force into displacement, as I already said. In case of okay, so fluids, work is defined as what? Pressure into change in volume. Okay, pressure into change in volume. So what is work here? I've taken a last example. So if you take the system, if you take the system as a gas in a container fitted with a frictionless piston, okay, if the so what is gas? Gas molecules, they are having some energy, kinetic energy. They are in a random movement. When they are in a random movement, they may collide on the walls of the container. When they collide on the walls of the container for a particular piston, if that net force is greater than the force of the surrounding, then what happens? The piston moves in the upward direction. Okay, piston moves in the upward direction. If piston moves in the upward direction, that means force has been done. Okay, so if the piston moves in upward direction, see, what is the change here? The change is volume. Initially, this is volume of the gas. Okay, if the piston moves in the upward direction, then volume increases by, then volume of the gas increases. What is the change in volume? This is the change in volume. This is a change in volume. How much it is? dV, final volume minus initial volume. Okay, so we know the relation between work, pressure, and volume. Then work is defined as what? Product of pressure into change in volume. Okay, so as I already derived in the mechanical properties of fluids, in case of fluids, the work is defined as pressure into change in volume. That is work here. Okay, if gas do certain work on the system, you can see some the changes in the system. This time the change in the system is in terms of change in volume. Then work is given by pressure into change in volume. Okay. Let me go to the third quantity now. That is internal energy. Internal energy. The word itself says it is the internal, inside energy. Okay, it is the internal energy of the system. So, what is meant by internal energy? So, the word itself says that is the internal energy. It is an internal energy. So, what is meant by this internal energy? Okay, in which form this internal energy is present? Again, if you take a gas, okay, you can see that if you take a gas. So gas is made up of gas molecules. Okay, so gas is made up of gas molecules. Okay, so to to study the behavior of the gases, we have the next topic, that is nothing but kinetic theory of the gases. Okay, so they are in a random movement. See here, they are in a random movement, but their velocity is not small. They have the order of 10 raised to 4, 10 raised to 5 like this. It is very fast. This movement is very fast. The movement of the gas molecule, it is very fast. Okay, so if the gas molecule, so what is meant by internal energy? That means energy of the gas. What is internal energy of the system? That means it is the energy of the gas. So which type of energy is there? The energy form. Okay, you can see that the gas molecules are in movement. If they are in movement, that means what? The energy corresponding to movement, that is nothing but kinetic energy. Kinetic energy, internal energy of the gas. Gas has certain energy. Gas molecules are in movement. That means what? It has energy in the form of kinetic. Therefore, it has an kinetic energy. Other possibilities. Now, these molecules, they interact. Molecules, they interact. They exert force of attraction or the force of repulsion. If the molecules are interact, okay, you study in the gravitational topic. If the mass interact, if there is a force between the masses, okay, there's some force between the masses. If the mass interact by using the gravitational force, then they have what? Then they have gravitational potential energy. Are you getting me? The molecules, you can see that chop is attracted towards earth. Why? Reason is the gravitational force. Okay, if I keep this chop piece certain distance from the earth, then this particular chop piece has got certain energy. Which energy it is? Gravitational potential energy. You can see that if I drop this chop piece, definitely it goes to the downward direction by using its own energy. That is nothing but gravitational potential energy. Therefore, these gas molecules can have potential energy. Okay, they can have kinetic energy, they can have potential energy. These gas molecules, these are the molecules. Okay, now the chemistry say that these molecules have got certain energy. Okay, they have got certain energy. Now that energy is called chemical energy. Whatever way they have due to their chemical composition, it can have the chemical energy. Okay, this molecule contains atoms. Atoms has a nucleus. There may be some nuclear energy, etc., etc. Therefore, the large number of energy may be there. If I go on discussion about the internal energy of a system, then it may be chemical energy is there, atomic energy is there, nuclear energy is there. Okay, some due to that composition, they have some chemical energies there. Now that overall energy is called internal energy. Are you getting me? Okay, but in thermodynamics, we consider only the kinetic energy. Reason is very simple. See, most of the cases we take an ideal gas. Okay, ideal gas, as you know in the kinetic theory of gases, what is meant by ideal gas? Ideal gas means there is no interaction between the gas molecules. There is no interaction between the gas molecules. Gas molecule doesn't interact. They doesn't offer the force of attraction or they doesn't offer the force of repulsion. Therefore, there is no interaction between the gas molecule. If there is no interaction between the gas molecule, that means what? The potential energy of the gas molecule is zero. Okay, the potential energy of the gas molecule is zero. And other quantities, that chemical energy, nuclear energy, now they are negligible compared to the kinetic energy. Reason is their velocity. The velocity of the random gas molecules is the order of 10 raised to 4, 10 raised to 5 meter per second. It is very large. Almost it is 100 or 1000 times less than the speed of light. Okay, so therefore this kinetic energy, okay, so if I take the internal energy, then 99% is kinetic energy, remaining 1% is the potential, chemical and nuclear. Therefore, we are neglecting the other type of energies. Therefore, we simply define internal energy as the sum of kinetic energy of the particles present in a system. We call it as the internal energy of the system. Okay, so what is meant by internal energy of the system? The sum of kinetic energy of the particles present in the system is called internal energy. And our first law of thermodynamics, it our discussion is about the relation between heat, works, and internal energy. Okay, that is nothing but our first law of thermodynamics. Okay, so let me take in the next class. Okay, so first law